that is it. So now see, a lot of you from this telegram and from calls from last few days are very new to geology, right? And a lot of you are from non-geology background, right? A lot of you are from non-geology background, and a lot of you are also from geology background, but they are in their early years of, right, they are in their initial year of post graduation or something like that, right? So they also don't know much about the examination. So geology, like I'll discuss something about geology vis-a-vis the civil services examination, civil services as well as forest service examination, right? So you might be aware that geology is one of the most popular and successful optional in Indian Forest Service examination, right? From last 5 to 7 years, geology optional secures most of the rank, right? Even the last year in 2020, All India rank 1 was from geology optional, and he was from non-geology background, right? The same was the case in 2018, and even before that, even in 2019, I think there were 5 students in out of 10, right? Among the first 10 rank, they were from geology and forest service examination, right? In civil services examination, it is one of the most prospective and emerging optional, right? So see, this is also a fact that not many students write geology in civil services, right? In forest services, it is the most popular optional, but in civil services, around 50 to 80 students generally write the mains examination. So that itself is an advantage, right? A lot of you have, there are some students who are changing their optional from anthropology or maybe PubAd or geography to geology. So you must be aware that around 2000 students write mains with anthropology, right? Around 3000 students write mains with geography, and then something like that with other options also, right? Sociology, around 1000 people, I think, as per UPSC report, they write it. So you have tremendous competition. There are 3000 people trying to give the best, right? But in geology, you just have around 50 to 80 students. Till now, they are ever increasing. In 2017, there were only, I think, 20. Then it went to 40. Last year it was around like 50, and last year it was around 80, something like that. But still, that is not a big number. So that is an advantage, right? You don't have to compete with people if you just complete the syllabus holistically, and you ratify, solve previous year questions, you do some answer writing practice, you are good to score very good marks, right? So that is the thing. And some basic advantages or benefits of having geology as an optional is, like, the first optional with geology, the first major advantage with geology is that geology you can opt in IFS as well as in civil services, right? Right, in civil services, if you have anthropology, public administration, geography, political science, these options are not valid for forest services, right? In forest services, you need to opt for some science optional only. So geology is an optional. So it basically helps you synchronize between both the optional. And in forest services, you get, this year there are 150 seats, right? There are 150 extra more seats in IFS. So if you are giving civil services, you get 150 added seat, where you can get a rank and you can be an all India service officer. So that is one of the biggest advantage of geology. The second one is that, like I mentioned, there is less competition, right? So you don't have to worry about what people are doing. You just have to worry about your own work ethics, and you can, score pretty well in it. The another important thing about geology is it is very static in nature, right? So, like, what do I mean that it is static in nature is, like, 99% of its syllabus is basically fixed, right? It won't change. In maybe in geography, if you have somebody has geography as an optional, you are reading about, maybe, you are reading about geopolitics and all. So it keeps on changing because of current affair. Even in public administration, in political science, right? You have international relations. So they keep on changing. Now, yesterday there was different relation between Russia and USA. Today, they are almost at a war, right? There were 10 years ago there were different relation between Ukraine and Russia. Today they are very different. So this keeps on changing because of current affairs. So your answer, your content also keeps on changing. But in geology, that is not the case. If you, it is a science. You are able to understand it. Your content, your hard work, which you do in today, it will be helpful, right? You don't have to, improvise a lot. So that is the thing. So it makes it pretty scoring. Then obviously it is a science optional. So being a science optional, it brings a lot of objectivity, right? So here, at times you can score 10 out of 10 or maybe 20 out of 20 also. So such kind of score in any question is not possible in any humanities or even in anthropology kind of optional. So that is also a very important advantage of geology. Another one is the syllabus is pretty short, right? Relatively, it is pretty short compared to a lot of other optional, right? So there are just 12 units, and a lot of them are very very small, and few are definitely bigger. But in comparatively, the syllabus is not that big. So that is also a very good advantage of geology. And recently, like by recently I mean just last year itself, in 2020, a lot of people they are scoring like in excess of 280 and 290, right? A lot of few of them have even got a rank, right. So there are a lot of examples. There are a lot of examples. Like just in last year, 2020, this there was a this Divyanshu Nigam sir. He scored all India rank 44, right, with geology optional, and he was from non-geology background. He was from non-geology background. I think he was from chemical engineering background, and he cleared geology with pretty good marks, right? So his score in geology was, see, you can see it was in excess of, it was somewhere around 285, right? Or a 281 kind of score out of. So this was one of the very good score last year, right? Last year, very a lot of people they were stuck at 260. Even those who got ranked, they were stuck at 260 or 265 kind of. So here they were like 20 plus marks advantage, right? So he finally got All India rank 44, and he is in serving IS, right? Similarly, this another candidate Avinash Kumar, he also got into IPS with geology optional, right? So he scored somewhere around 290, right, or 295. So see, you can see his was geology optional, and see his score was around 290, right? 290 was his score. So this was also among the very good score, right? If you are aware about the marking of civil services, last year's 290 was as good as 320 of 2018 or 19, right? So this was the score. Even in 2018, somebody scored in around 305 marks, right, out of 500, and he also got into IAS, right? With I think all India rank 91, something like that. So like there has been a lot of positives in civil services with geology, and that is why I said that it is a very emerging and slowly getting popular, right? In IFS, in IFS, this has been a very champion and a very important or very popular subject, right? So you can see these mark sheets itself, right? This is of last year itself, 2021. So here some this Suraj Ban, he this guy, he got all India rank 1. He was also from non-geology background, and see he got all India rank with geology as well as forestry as an optional, right? So I hope this is visible. I will zoom into it. So you can see his score was somewhere around 260, in excess of 260, 266 was his score, and this was out of 400, right? So this is, I think, a very brilliant score, and he got rank 1, right? Similarly, there was again all India rank 1 in Indian Forest Services with geology optional, right? Naveen, he's presently serving as an IFS officer in Telangana cadre, right? His home state. So see his score. He has a marvelous score of, I think, in excess of 300 and somewhere around 315, right? 314 out of 400. So like this is exceptional score. Now it is even difficult to score this much in board examination. He is scoring in a competitive examination using geology, and again he was not from geology background. His background was electrical engineering, and he has different optional in civil services. He gave civil services with, I think, geography or some political science, but he gave geology with this, and see this was his score, and he got all India rank 1, right? Like similarly, this is also again Gurharsh. He was Lawrence Sir student, our planet geology's classroom student, and he secured an All India rank 7 in his very first attempt in IFS with geology optional, right? So and then there were a lot of students last year from planet geology who secured